iPad, it's for you. And today we're going to be discussing an upgrade analysis. So let's picture it. You just saw that Apple released their new iPad Pro M4, but you have an iPad Pro M2. Should you upgrade or should you keep and stay with the M2? That's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. So let's just dive straight into it. The new iPad Pro M4 has a way better screen. It has the new Ultra Retina XDR display, which means it has pixels on top of pixels, so that means it's brighter, thinner bezels, and just better overall to look at. The iPad Pro M2 on the other hand has a less advanced screen. It's last year's generation of screen, so it's still really good, but definitely not even as close to being as good as the M4. So that category, display, goes to the M4. Next, let's move on to the chips. So the new iPad Pro M4 has the M4 chip in it. They skipped the M3, went straight to the M4, and that means it's 50% more power efficient than the M2 was. But on the other side, the M2 chip makes it so it still is really fast and perfect for people who don't use super power intensive tasks. So it's still really strong, so all the stuff that they do shouldn't lag and should be going pretty quick. But unless you're a really big power user, then you should get the M4 because, well, more power. So depending on what kind of person you are, this one's gonna go to a draw. So it's gonna go to the M4 and the M2 iPad. Next, let's talk about design. So the new iPad Pro M4 is way thinner and way lighter. That is actually the thinnest Apple product ever. And they moved the landscape camera from the side to the middle, which is a way better placement, which the M2 iPad Pro did not have. It has it on the bad side, so on the side, that's not a good place for the landscape camera. And it is a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier, but for certain people that is better, because lately people have been having a hard time picking up the iPad Pro M4 because of how thin it is off their desk. But the old M2 is better to pick up your desk because it's a little bit thicker. It's not super duper thicker, but it's a tiny bit, so you can still pick it up off your desk and not struggle to do that. Another downside the M4 iPad Pro has is they got rid of one of the second cameras, so now it doesn't have an ultra wide camera, but it isn't too big of a loss because people don't usually take pictures with their iPad. But I thought I'd just mention that just in case you take pictures with your iPad. So this category is gonna go to the M4 iPad Pro. Finally, let's finish off the categories with accessories. The iPad Pro M4 is able to be used with the new Apple Pencil Pro, which adds a couple of new features like barrel roll, haptic feedback, a tap that makes it so you can open your menu, Find My, and of course double tap. While the old M2 iPad Pro is only able to use the Apple Pencil 2nd generation, which only has the cool feature double tap. The second accessory that people mainly use with the iPad Pros is the Magic Keyboard. And this year with the M4 iPads, they came out with a new Magic Keyboard that is made of metal, has a new bar that has all of these functions on it, and overall it's thinner and lighter than last year's. The M2 has the Magic Keyboard also, but not as cool. It is still a silicon one, doesn't have any function buttons, and doesn't look like a MacBook keyboard. It looks more like an iPad keyboard. So I think the accessories category should go to the iPad Pro M4. So that means that the iPad Pro M4 has 4 points, while the iPad Pro M2 only has 1 point. So that should be the end of the story, right? You should upgrade to the M4, it's way better. Not exactly. If you are a person who uses a lot of power, they're a power user, and they don't want to get a MacBook, they like the idea of having an iPad, then yeah, definitely upgrade to the M4. Especially if you have any older models after that. If you have like the M1 iPad Pro or even farther back from that, you should definitely upgrade to the M4. You're gonna see a lot of big updates from the design to the screen to the new Apple Pencil and the Magic Keyboard. You're gonna see a lot of big features from the old ones that you didn't have to the new one. And if you are an artist who likes the idea of having the Apple Pencil with those extra features, you think it'll upgrade your artistic experience, then yeah, you should upgrade to the M4 iPad Pro. But if you're only gonna get it for the Apple Pencil, I recommend getting the iPad Air, the new one with the M2. It's gonna be basically the same as the M2 iPad Pro, but thinner bezels, thinner, and of course the new Apple Pencil Pro. If you do have an iPad Pro M2, there's no need for you to upgrade because there's not too many big features that come out in this M4 that the M2 doesn't have. I mean, you have the Apple Pencil, the thinner design, and the screen. That's about it. But the M2 iPad Pro is still a very good iPad. That's the one I currently use, and it's just overall a really good iPad. So there's really no need to upgrade to the M4. That concludes today's Tech and Gadgets for You video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and hit that bell so you won't miss any future videos. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!